Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are pulling back the curtain and opening up the hidden playbook used by manipulators. We're not talking about simple disagreements here. We're talking about tactics that are designed, sometimes consciously, sometimes not, to control conversations, relationships, and even how you see reality. We're going to break down 8 of the most common plays, and more importantly, we're going to show you the counter moves so you can reclaim your power.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about the invisible strings, the overall strategy behind the curtain. Then we'll dive right into the specific tactics, how they twist your reality, play with your emotions, and even use your social circle against you. We'll also expose the false saviors. And finally, we'll bring it all together to show you exactly how to take back your own story. Think of this as your roadmap out of the fog.
Okay, so the first thing you have to understand is that manipulation is rarely a full frontal assault. It's subtle. It's more like a game with invisible strings, a whole playbook of moves designed to make you feel off-kilter and confused. Our whole goal here is to shine a big bright light on that playbook so you can see every single move coming before it even happens.
You know that feeling, right? You walk away from a conversation and you just feel drained, confused, or maybe you feel like you just apologized for something, but you're not even sure what you did wrong. That feeling of being tangled up, where you're defending yourself against things you can't even put your finger on, well, that's the #1 sign you're not just having a conversation, you're in a game.
And that's our promise to you today. We're not just going to point out all the problems. We are going to arm you with knowledge. Because when you can name a tactic, when you can see the play developing before it lands, you take all the power back. You'll know the rules, and you will know exactly how to just drop the rope and walk off the field.
So let's get right into the first set of plays. And honestly, these can be the most dangerous because they don't just target what you do or how you feel, they target your sanity. This is all about warping your perception of reality itself.
We've all heard the word gaslighting thrown around, but it's often misunderstood. See, it's not just about lying. Gaslighting is like a slow, quiet poison. It's a steady erosion of your trust in yourself. It's someone gently but persistently rewriting history, not to win one argument, but to make you believe that their version of reality is the only one that's real.
Okay, so look at how this works in practice. The plays and counterplays are direct opposites. When they hit you with, "That never happened," you don't argue. Your counterplay is to have your own record. Write it down. A journal, a quick note in your phone. That becomes your anchor to reality. When they say you're being too sensitive, their goal is to make your feelings invalid. So you do the opposite. You validate them yourself. You trust how you feel. And this last one is huge. When they keep rewriting the story, just stop explaining your side. They're not looking for an explanation. The moment you stop, you take your power back.
Now, if gaslighting is the slow burn, then DARVO is the sudden explosive plot twist. It's not subtle, it's a disorienting rapid-fire reversal. It's a very predictable 3-step move that's designed for one thing and one thing only, to get them out of trouble by flipping the entire situation on its head.
You have to understand this sequence. Let's say you calmly bring up something they did that upset you. Step 1, they deny it. I have no idea what you're talking about. Step 2, they attack you, not the problem. Why are you always causing drama? You have the worst timing. And then comes the flip. Step 3, they reverse victim and defender. All of a sudden, they're the one who's hurt. They're the victim of your unfair accusations. You're the bad guy for even mentioning it.
And this quote just nails the result of DARVO, doesn't it? You walked into the conversation with a valid point, and you walk out of it apologizing for the way you said it. So what's the counterplay? Don't take the bait. When they attack your tone, you calmly bring it back to the original point. You can literally say, "We can talk about my tone later. Right now, I'm talking about this." The whole thing falls apart when you refuse to get sidetracked.
All right, so we've talked about messing with your head. Now let's talk about messing with your heart. This next set of tactics works on a totally different level. It's all about weaponizing your emotions, creating these dizzying highs and crushing lows to make you much easier to control.
You know, love bombing feels absolutely incredible at first, and that's the whole point. That's the trap. It's not about real affection. It's about intensity. It's that feeling of being swept off your feet so fast you don't even have time to see if the ground is solid. The real goal is to create an emotional high that's so addictive that later, when they pull back, you will do absolutely anything to get that feeling back, and that creates a very powerful dependency.
So how can you possibly tell the difference? Well, it all comes down to the pacing. Love bombing is a sprint. It's talking about forever after 2 dates. It's a performance. But a real connection, That's a slow walk. It grows quietly. Trust has to be earned over time, with actions, not just a flood of words. The most important counterplay you have here is to just slow things down. If someone is rushing you, you have to ask yourself why.
So from the high, we go to the low, guilt tripping. Now this tactic is so effective on kind, empathetic people because it hijacks your very desire to be a good person. It's not about making you feel guilty for something you actually did wrong. It's about making you feel responsible for their emotions, turning your care into a weapon against you. Your kindness becomes a debt they can call in whenever they want.
Oh man, we have all heard some version of this line, haven't we? It is the guilt trip anthem. What it really means is that all their past kindness wasn't a gift, it was a transaction. And now you're failing to pay up on a deal you never even signed. The counterplay here is to just pause. Before you react, before you feel that guilt, take a breath. Ask yourself one simple question. Did I actually do something wrong here, according to my own values? Just creating that little bit of space is everything.
Okay, next up, we're looking at tactics that expand the game board. They move beyond a one-on-one dynamic and start using other people, or the strategic absence of other people, as pawns. This turns everything into a social chessboard, where you feel like you're always one move behind.
Triangulation is basically a way to avoid a direct, honest conversation by bringing in backup. So instead of talking to you about a problem, they talk about you to someone else. Then they come back and use that person as their proof. Well, Sarah agrees with me. Or everybody thinks you're being unreasonable. And just like that, it's not you and them anymore. It's you against them and their invisible army. It's all designed to make you feel outnumbered and wrong-footed.
But the counterplay here is so simple and so powerful. You dismantle the triangle. You refuse to play. This one sentence is a rock-solid boundary. It shuts down the gossip and it forces the conversation back to where it belongs, between the two of you. You are under no obligation to defend yourself to a jury you didn't even know was in session.
Now let's talk about the absence of communication. This is so important. The silent treatment is not, I repeat, not the same as somebody needing space. Look at the difference. Healthy space is a tool. It's for calming down. It's communicated. Hey, I'm overwhelmed. I need an hour. Punishing silence is a weapon. It's unexplained. It goes on forever. And its only goal is to make the silence so uncomfortable, so loud, that you will do anything to make it stop.
All right, for our last pair of tactics, we're looking at something that preys on one of our deepest vulnerabilities, our hope. Your hope for support, for connection, for things to finally get better. These techniques are like offering a mirage of water in the desert, just to keep you hooked on a promise that was never real to begin with.
The White Knight looks like a hero, right? They swoop in to save the day. But here's the toxic twist. The manipulative White Knight doesn't just solve crises, they often secretly create them. They might stir up some drama behind your back or undermine your confidence, and then, wouldn't you know it, they show up to rescue you. Their help isn't about empowering you, it's about keeping you in a state where you always need to be saved.
And then we have breadcrumbing. The best way to think about this is emotional clickbait. It's that random hey text at midnight after weeks of silence. It's the like on a photo you posted 3 years ago. It's just enough of a crumb to keep you on the hook, to make you think, maybe this time, but it never, ever leads to a full meal. It's about keeping you emotionally invested with the least amount of effort possible.
So the key to countering both the White Knight and the breadcrumber is actually the same. You have to stop listening to the promises and start watching the patterns. Do their actions actually match their words? Is their support consistent, or does it just show up when there's a crisis they might have had a hand in? Real support, real connection empowers you. It helps you stand on your own 2 feet. It doesn't keep you waiting by the phone. Your power here is to trust observation over your own hopeful expectations.
Okay, so we've just gone through 8 specific plays right out of the manipulator's playbook. Now it's time to zoom out. Let's talk about the ultimate defense, the one core truth that ties all of these tactics together and gives you the key to shut them all down for good.
This is it. This is the whole game, right here. It doesn't matter if it's twisting reality or creating emotional highs and lows or playing social games, the end goal is always the same. It is to gain control. Control over your thoughts, control over your feelings, and control over your actions. It's not about love, it's not about concern, it is always about control.
So, with that in mind, this is your new playbook, your playbook for freedom. Number 1, trust your gut. That confusing feeling in your stomach, that's not weakness, that's a compass. It's pointing you to the truth. Number 2, Set clear boundaries, the kind we've been talking about. 3. Stay connected to your own reality. Talk to trusted friends, write things down. And finally, remember what we said at the very beginning. This knowledge isn't just about power. It's about freedom, the freedom to walk away from games you never, ever signed up to play.
And that brings us to the end, which is really a new beginning. We want to leave you with one final thought to take with you. Now that you can see the game, what is one small, clear boundary you can set in your own life, maybe even today, to start reclaiming your own story?